Hey there, I'm Ari Altman from the Tech Buyers Guru, and I'm going to be giving you a preview of SilverStone's brand new Primera PM02 case, which I have right here. Sitting next to it is the original Primera case, the PM01. Truthfully, these really couldn't be any more different in terms of style and execution. The Primera was really designed as kind of an experiment, I'd say, from Silverstone. It had kind of race car styling. You can see that in its kind of this hood scoop up top and this mesh in front. It had a lot of plastic, which some people were concerned about. And the original one had a plastic side window. This is the original version. And it's currently selling for about $110 to $120. The new Primera, or PM02, is based on a completely different chassis. It's actually a smaller chassis. It was originally designed for the KL07, which is one of Silverstone's quiet cases. It's also being featured in the brand new Redline RL07 case. So those are all using the exact same internal layout, which is different from the original PM01. This PM01 is actually quite a bit larger overall, even inside. But with all the hood scoops and the front fascia, it is quite a bit larger. I'm just going to line these up next to each other so you can see, and then I'm going to take this PM01 away. So just lined up here, you can just see this whole front fascia basically adds, 3 inches to the depth of the case, and of course this hood on top adds quite a bit of flare as well as size. Internally, it's slightly larger. I'd say, yeah, it's about 2 inches longer, or 1.5 inches longer. So these are really different cases, and I'm actually kind of surprised that Silverstone came out with the follow-up to the PM01 being a smaller case. This is quite a bit smaller. But I'm going to go through some other features of this case, and I actually have another sample here, which I'll be bringing up on the table shortly. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm back with both of my PM02 samples. Truth be told, I had originally thought I would just be reviewing this black case, but when I visited Silverstone at CES 2018 in Las Vegas, I saw these two side by side and I said, my goodness, this white one looks really nice. White cases in general don't sell as well as black cases, but Silverstone has really gone out of its way to make this white case look fabulous. I really like the fact that the interior is painted white. That really brings out the paint job and actually makes it really shine. It almost looks like it's lit up, even though there's no lighting. This case isn't powered on. The tint on this tempered glass is actually the same as it is on that black case, but just having that white interior makes it shine. And I thought it just looked really good, and I wanted to get that on camera for people because I don't think that necessarily shows in product photography on site or on stores. So I just wanted to point that out. This white one I think really looks nice. But the black one is going to be probably the more popular one, and I've got really good news for you. Silverstone, as part of a promotion of this brand new case, is allowing me to offer this black case here at half the retail price. The retail price of these cases is $140. But as part of this promotion, as part of this preview, you can sign up in the comments below to get this case for $70. It's this very case, guys. I haven't even taken this plastic off the tempered glass because this is going to be going to somebody, hopefully, who would like it for $70. It's only open to viewers in the 48 continental United States, and of course when it's gone, it's gone. This video will far outlast, hopefully, the case in my hands. So just want to let you know, this is kind of a cool promotion that Silverstone offered up. So I'm going to take this case off of the workbench here because, frankly, I don't want to mess it up. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, so we're going to be focusing on the white case today in this preview. And this is really a preview rather than a full review because I don't have it built up yet. And I'm going to be following up with a full review with performance figures using a Core i7-7700K and a GTX 1080 card, which I've used in the PM01 sample. So I'll have kind of back-to-back data for your viewing pleasure. Now, Silverstone has already told me that they do not expect this to perform quite as well as the PM01 because the front, while it is meshed, it's not quite it's not quite as fully meshed. Of course, it has a little bit more air restriction. But it's better than a lot of cases out there that are using kind of a solid front panel. That's kind of all the rage right now, and frankly that's not very good for airflow. So this is at least a little bit better. And the interesting thing about this, the improvement on this versus the PM01 is this is steel. And a lot of people didn't like the plasticky feel of the PM01. Well, there's no plastic here. Even the feet are metal, I think. Yeah, they are. Everything about this is steel other than the piece of glass on the side. So if you like a solid feel to your case, even a compact case like this, I think you'll like this PM02 because it's all metal and glass. There is no plastic. Actually, this little decorative piece on top, which is kind of a faux mesh. There is no air intake up there, by the way, unfortunately. That's actually plastic. Speaking of the front, I'm going to pop this off so you can see what the front looks like. Actually, this case is really, really nice in terms of the mounting system. It doesn't use plastic tabs that will break. So this is really well designed, and it allows you to pull this really nice fan filter. This is really good stuff. This is kind of a micro mesh. It's really going to catch a lot of dust and probably won't restrict airflow that much. So this is really high quality. A lot of case manufacturers nowadays are advertising they have fan filters, but it's like a metal grate, which doesn't catch any dust. It just restricts airflow. So this is really, really nice, and it's easily removable, as you see, and it sticks on it. Magnetic. Very, very cool. Up here is something that's a little bit unusual. This is a down-firing LED, and I'm going to show this in the full review when it's powered on, but basically it actually projects a SilverStone logo on your table or floor. And, well, that's a different take on LED lighting. It's a single color. I believe this one is blue, whereas the black case has a red LED. You know, Silverstone wanted to do something different. RGB is all the rage. This case does not have RGB. It's single color, and they did something different. They had a logo project. So you'll see that in the full review. It's certainly different. That's what I'll say about that right now. So I'm going to put this back on. You can also see, actually, this gives you a really nice view of those three 140mm fans. Can't miss that. This is a really important feature of this case. You know, you often don't get three front fans in a case, let alone three 140mm fans. So this is right up there with the PM01 in terms of, you know, potential airflow. It also has a 140mm fan in the back, which you can see. Most cases in this price range, again, this is $140, would give you maybe two 140mm fans or 320mm fans. But to have four of these fans in one case at this price, I think is really fantastic. So these are good quality fans, and obviously you can see they come pre-mounted, and there's not much reason to change them. You couldn't fit anything else up here. Obviously they take up the entire front of this case, which is pretty cool in terms of maximizing airflow. So let me stick this magnetic filter back on. See if I can get this fascia back on. Should pop on pretty easily. There we go. Another feature Silverstone is promoting right now on this case, which makes it distinct from a lot of other cases in the price range, is that it has a true USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C dual-sided connector up top, along with three USB 3.0 connectors. So that's a pretty nice feature. A lot of, I think, PC builders have been clamoring for these you know, cutting-edge connectors up top or up front on a case. So this one has that Type-C connector, if that's important to you. Also up top is a mesh filter for your fan grill up here. It doesn't come with any fans installed, and although Silverstone advertises or markets this case with compatibility with liquid coolers, just by measurements that I've taken already, I'm fairly confident you won't be able to fit a 240mm radiator plus fans up here. I will double check that once I have the system built up, but unfortunately I think this case is a little bit too small for liquid cooling. Luckily this little mesh is pretty cool, and it connects magnetically. Very, very sleek, and good fit there, and looks nice. There you go. Looks pretty good. Now, interesting thing just to point out, just to show that this is a pretty small case, the PCI locks are actually external to this case. This is not one of my favorite features of this case. This is the kind of thing you see in compact cases where you want to get a really small footprint, but you kind of have the PCI locks sticking out of the back of the case. You have that in this case, and it is what it is. That's how they give it such a small footprint. Frankly, this is really a small case for how much interior space you have. They've pretty much punched it out all the way to the end. All right, let's take this piece of glass off here. One of the really nice improvements that that Silverstone has done here is put this glass on rails. So you just have these two screws up top, thumb screws up top, and the glass is actually in a rail. You can just pull it out of that rail, which makes it a lot easier to handle. So I'll come around front here and just point out a few last things in this case. Obviously you have this sleek white interior that I mentioned before. You've got the 140mm fan in the back here. And if you take a close look and you're at all familiar with the Silverstone KL07, you'll actually see this is exactly the same interior, but they've punched out an opening down here, which would allow you to put a 360mm radiator if that was the kind of thing you wanted to do in a small case. So you can mount really big radiators up front, you just can't do it up top. I'm going to flip this case around and pop the back off here to show you the nice cable management Silverstone has done here. This comes all pre-done out of the factory. I haven't touched this at all. You get 3 SSD trays back here. You get 3 hard drive trays. Of course, you can see that 140mm fan here that gives you hard drive and PSU cooling. So that's pretty much it. I think this is a really interesting case. My only concern, and again, I haven't tested it yet, I haven't built in it, is the price. $140 is a little bit more than the original PM01. It's a little bit less than the tempered glass edition of the PM01, but that one had RGB lighting. And this one has no lighting. These fans do not light up. So, it kind of splits the difference, and it does have a little bit more steel. Okay, the front is steel as opposed to plastic, which people will like. But there's a lot of competition out there in the $140, $150 price bracket. Cooler Master has some popular cases. Thermaltake has a number of cases. Corsair has just announced a new 500D in their Obsidian series at $150. So there is a lot of competition, and Silverstone definitely wins in terms of equipping these cases with a lot of nice 140mm fans. You won't find 4 fans of that size in any other case at this price range. But this is a small case compared to some of those others. So that's the only caveat so far, the only concern I have in terms of the preview of this case. So stay tuned, because I will be building this case up with a 7700K processor and a GTX 1080 GPU and giving you a full rundown on the experience. Catch you soon.